was your speech was very informative, and it told us a lot about what we're actually eating. Most people don't know, they don't like care enough to check the ingredient label on something as simple as their milk or some kind of thing like baking mixes. But it really opened people's eyes to what we're actually eating, and it's coming as simple as things that don't have ingredients like fruits and vegetables, that they can have components that could make you really sick, and worst of all, they don't really tell you what they've put into it, and it could be very dangerous for someone's health. It was well researched and informative, like I said, and the topic was really unique because most topics are about other things, which are also interesting, but this was more science orientated, and it was also helpful, and it wasn't just like facts. It was more like helping us out and really giving us insight about what we're consuming as consumers. But I would, and here's some, but here's how to make your speech better. Some things you could work on is that you added a little too much information. And so it was kind of like you had like one base sentence and then you just piled up everything else and then you just had a conclusion. It would be better if you added a little less information instead of just piling on facts in your speech and kind of separating it sort of into sections. But and also one thing you could one thing you could improve on as well is that you talked a bit too fast to pull in as much information as possible. And I heard that you were going to work on it, so that's a good thing. And my final point is that the vocabulary was a bit too, I would say, complicated. And I know that there's not really many ways you can explain a topic as complicated as GMOs, but I think you could use examples from the real world or like pull things that would make it a bit more understandable. Like when you were talking about the shelf life of corn versus a tomato, you could talk about you could say like they took out the characteristics of the corn's long shelf life and put it in the tomato, and it's good to have scientific vocabulary, but you could also kind of make it a little more general so that a wider range of audiences could understand it. But overall, it was a very well researched and informative speech. But if you keep those points in mind, I think you can make a good finish.